This is Ecclesiasticus 27:1. Many have sinned for a small matter, and he that seeketh for abundance will turn his eyes away. As a nail sticketh fast between the joinings of the stones, so does sin stick close between buying and selling. I'd like to start off by saying, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Kol Haroim La Yahawah, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Hakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that's scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwat that's listening in. Yahweh rock us out, Lord willing, that the lesson is edifying. It's the brother Shawab and Mawan back at you with another lesson. And going into the title, all right, as we continue to approach more and more, all right, to these devils' agenda, all right, we have to continually speak more and more about it, all right? And even though we might sound like a broken record, all right, we have to continually keep reminding the people, all right, that this is a physical thing that's going to be done, all right? Because I was just watching a video from the brothers up there in GMS, New Jersey, and they had a brother, but they had a weirdo that came up to the camp, and he was talking about that the MOTB is a spiritual thing, that it's basically Christianity, which, man, that's just bugged out for you to even think that, all right? Because at the end of the day, if it was Christianity, right, then why would it be written in the scriptures that Christians read? You know what I'm saying? Like, that makes no sense at all, you know? So, which Christianity is just going way off anyway. All right. At the end of the day, the true Christians are those that follow Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, that follow Hamashiach, the anointed, you see. But still, again, if it was to be Christianity, then why would it be written in the book trying to warn us to stay away from it? You know, it makes no sense. But other than that, you know, for the people to still think that it's not a physical MARK is just bugged out, because you can see the signs everywhere we look that it's going to be a physical thing. You know, we are in the fourth industrial revolution, as we continually keep telling everybody, the internet of things, man. Everything is digital around us. You know, smart TVs, smart cars, smartphones, you know. So eventually, you know, it's showing you that everything is going to be made digitally. All right. And what this devil's trying to do is merge, okay, merge man with machine. Okay, let's grab that real quick. All right. This is Second Thessalonians 2:4, and it says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God. All right, and that's what this devil does. All right, Esau, which is the devil that the Bible speaks of, all right, the so-called white man, starting with these top banking families, right? Your Rothschilds, your Bilderbergs, your Rockefellers, all right, your DuPonts, etc., etc. Okay, they are the ones that rule the world. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Okay, he covered the faces of the judges. If not, who is he? Okay, so at the end of the day, there is someone that's ruling, you know, behind closed doors, and it's just not someone. It's a lineage of families, man. 13 bloodlines, if you understand them. Okay, so again, they are trying to merge man with technology, which is called transhumanism. And that's what this verse is about. All right, transhumanism. He opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God. All right, he thinks that he is power. He thinks that he is above God. All right, he thinks he's above Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi with his science, with his technologies. Not understanding that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi is the one that gave him the intelligence to create these things just to destroy him with it. All right, it says, or that is worshipped, because he wants you to bow down to him. because he's trying to play the role of God, right? He's trying to play the role of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So he wants you to bow down to him, you see? And it really goes back deep, you know, all the way back to when he gave up his birthright, all right? Now he wants you to sell your soul to him, okay? When he had basically sold his own soul, all right, for some raw meat, okay, for a pot of lentils, okay? So it says, so that he is as God, Salakia, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God, right? And we know through the scriptures that we are the temple of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, all right? As the scriptures say, know ye not that you are the temple of Yahweh, okay? So he's going to sit in the temple of Yahweh. How? Through the way of this technology, being able to sit in our body, you know, and being able to monitor us, okay? Monitor our every single move, all right? So it says, so that he is as God, sitteth as in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God, all right? And by him being able to put that technology in you, is going to have him thinking that he is more superior than Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, you see? But again, not understanding that the Lord gave him that technology of science, okay, just to be able to destroy this devil for his pride. As the scriptures say, the pride of thine heart has deceived thee, you see? So going back to that precept I had just brought out, and let me grab it one more time, in Ecclesiasticus 27 and 1, and it says, many have sinned for a small matter, and he that seeketh for abundance will turn his eyes away. You see, that's what's going to happen. That's why they're taking away the benefits of the society right now. These things that people have, you know, grown attached to and become lazy to, all right, depending on their government. So the idea is to take away your benefits, all right, the things that are abundant onto you, all right, to what? To basically turn your eyes away from the truth, to turn your eyes towards them, all right, to make you beg and go to them for the want of all things, all right? Because these people are going to want to go back to society, going back to the way how things used to be, which is not going to go back to that. I'm sorry to say it. As always, you know, we brothers out here, we're going to always continually mess up your dreams and your hopes, all right, by telling you that this place is finished, America's finished, and you're not going to go back to the way things used to be. You see, they have an agenda, a new world order, okay? And they're getting away with the old world order, all right? So there's no way that it can ever go back to the old ways, because they have new ways that are coming and approaching, all right? And these new ways is just a digital slavery, all right, with a new digital messiah, because the old ways already have fooled you, already have you brainwashed and warped, and you know, have you caught up in things that are just pretty much nonsense, you know? So again, it says many have sinned for a small matter, you know, for the stupidest reasons. These people are going to end up sinning, all right, for something so stupid, you know, just wanting to go back to go drink at a bar, you know what I'm saying, or wanting to just be able to, you know, go and hang out like the old days used to be, you see, being able to go out, you know, and have family time with people, okay? These are small matters, you see. And those are just, you know, a couple of them that I named. I could sit here for forever just naming all types of small matters these people want to go back to normal for, right? And it says, and he that seeketh for abundance will turn his eyes away. As a nail sticketh fast between the joints of the stones, right? So does sin stick close between buying and selling. All right. So when if you are a carpenter and you understand, you know, when you're sticking that nail and you're in between the joinings, right, of stones to combine them together, okay, it's the same thing that is being spoken of metaphorically. See, these people, for the sake of sin, for the sake of pleasure, all right, they're going to end up sticking themselves close, okay, between buying and selling, because that's going to be the main thing that it tells you in Revelation 13, which I have right here, and 16. It says, and he does great wonders. I mean, Salakia, in 16, it says, 13 and 16, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, showing that it's going to be everybody, man, from the poorest to the richest, showing you that it's going to be a global thing, as it tells you in Habakkuk, all right, 2 and 5, that he heapeth all nations together. All right, that's showing you that it's a global thing. Okay, it's not just going to be here in America, it's going to be a global thing. Right, so it says, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right, then there's already people getting, you know, this technology put into their foreheads. Okay, being put into their hands. You know, people that, you know, are willingly wanting to put it into their bodies, all right, as a token of their gods. You see, as, you know, as a volunteer to try this cool, because they're gonna make it seem like it's cool, like it's convenient, you know, to put it into their bodies, to basically be the guinea pigs and test run it. You see, because these people are fascinated with technologies and computers, man. All right, these people want a future here. They want to see what the future brings. You see, but we know that the future brings nothing but death and destruction, man, because all this technology is nothing but basically, you know, ways to make you sin, you know. So we want no part of that at the end of the day. Okay, so it says, and that no man might buy or sell. You see, going back to the precept we just read in Ecclesiasticus 27 and 2, as a nail sticketh fast between the joinings of the stones, so the sin stick close between buying and selling. You see, unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord Yahweh, his house shall soon be overthrown. Okay, and that's what you have to fear, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, so he can what? Keep you from the hour of temptation, as the scriptures say, Revelations 3 and 10. All right, because thou hast kept my word. All right, because thou hast kept my word, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. Meaning, because you have stuck to this word, stuck to this faith, all right, which he had commanded us to do, to believe in him and not to believe in your society, not to believe in your nation, not to run down to Egypt, because this place is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, not to run down to Egypt for help. You see, we have to trust fully in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, right? So it says, unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord Yahweh, his house shall be soon overthrown. All right, and that's what's going to happen, you know. And honestly, your house goes into that being your temple. Your body is your house. If you really think about it, you have your house, which you know, your actual physical home, but you also have your body that's considered as a home, as a house. Okay, so your whole body's going to be overthrown, all right, to wickedness, basically, and overthrown to mostly what? The lake of fire, because anybody that takes that mark, all right, as it tells you in the 14th chapter of Revelation, man, is going to feel the wrath of the holy angels in the presence of the Lamb. You see, so you're going to utterly be burnt. Okay, as a matter of fact, I have it right here. This is 14 and 9, and it says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the BEAST in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. You see, and the Lord's gonna put a certain grievous sore upon you, man. Okay, let's grab that real quick. In Revelation 16. Okay, so we're gonna be able to know. All right, who took it? There's no way you can hide it. All right, this is 16 and 2, and it says, and the first went, matter of fact, I'll take it from 1. And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of Yahweh upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. You see, so you're gonna have people that actually, all right, are gonna have a grievous sore. All right, when you go into that grievous sore, it's gonna be actually a sore that has pus in it, man. All right, almost like if you're gonna be infected when you put this into your forehead, into your hand. Okay, now you might be seeing these Edomites, these tears running around, and they actually have them in their hands, and they have them in their foreheads, and they don't have a grievous sore. That's because they ain't Israelites, man. But true Israelites, all right, that end up taking this, it will be shown, all right. And even if you have it now, okay, at one point the Lord's gonna put that grievous sore upon you, okay. Hold on. I don't want to lose what I got on chat GBT. Let me grab this also real quick. This is so like I was just looking at something real quick before I forget. All right. So continuing on, there's going to be a grievous sore upon these people, right? And anybody that takes this mark is going to feel the wrath of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, all right, and his and the angels. Okay. So going back to Revelations 13 and 16, and it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, all right, to receive a mark in their right hand and in their foreheads, okay, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of his beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. All right, going into 666. You're going to be a product of this environment, a product of Esau. The same way he put barcodes on everything that you buy, okay, you're pretty much going to be bought, okay, by the elites, all right, and you're going to have a barcode on you. And if you look at barcodes, and the barcodes today, there's 3 big lines in that barcode, all right. There's a bunch of small lines, and then there's 3 big lines in the barcode, and those barcodes already represent 666, all right. So with that also being said, before I forget, this is how they're drawing you into their net, all right, by taking away all these benefits, okay, and then they're baiting you. Let's grab Habakkuk real quick. This is Habakkuk. Habakkuk 1 and 15. Okay, and it says, they take up all of them with the angle, they catch them in their net and gather them in their drag, therefore they rejoice and are glad. Okay, so you know, by taking these benefits away, okay, it's almost like Esau's out there fishing, right? And he got bait on his fishing hook, right? And he's just dangling it right in front of your face, man. Which that, you know, it could be whatever he wants to use as bait. All right, at the end of the day. Right now, it's with these food stamps, right? With all these SNAP benefits that are being taken away. Just it ain't just SNAP benefits being taken away. You got people losing their medical benefits. You know, people are losing their Social Security. You see, he doing all types of different tricks, different types of baits, just like when an angler goes to fish. You know, different baits catch different fish. You see, so this devil's using different baits to catch different people into this okey doke, man. All right, and what has it got people doing? It just got people just, I need that, I want that, you know, I want that back. You see, so eventually the actual bait that he's gonna put on there, all right, is gonna be that RFID, okay, a physical implementation into your body, okay, not spiritually, okay, not Christianity. It ain't white women. You know, you even like every year they come out, every couple months, you know, every damn 6 months these devils come out with a new philosophy on what the hell the MARK is, man. It's bugged out, you see, because it's right in your face. And the more we get closer to what it is, showing you that we've been right the whole time, that it's an actual physical mark, starting with the elders and apostles, right, all the way on down to the brotherhood, all right, that knows this truth, right, and following in the correct manner, all right. We've been telling you the same thing, sticking to the same thing over and over and over and over again for years, man. And we're getting closer and closer to it being revealed that what we've been saying, it is, you see. But the more we get closer, the more philosophies come out about what it is, you see, what it could be, all right. And none of those, all right, are the actual correct answers, man. The answer to the MOTB is a physical implant, okay, that's going to be put into your body, man. We are in the fourth industrial revolution of things, man. The internet of things, okay? Your body is going to be the internet, not no more phones. We're not going to need smart TVs and phones no more, okay? Because you're going to be that damn smart TV or that smartphone, whatever you want to call it, okay? You are the Wi-Fi. All right, your body acts like a Wi-Fi. Go look it up and go do some research on it. All right, it only makes sense. This is why they're bringing out all these biometrics and everything, because it all goes hand in hand with it, to the system, towards the image, you see. So, you know, it says they take up all of them with an angle. They catch them in their net and gather them in their drag. Therefore, they rejoice and are glad. You see, and Esau is a cunning hunter. He will sit there and hunt your ass down, all right, until he catches you into his net. That's what hunters do. That's what true hunters do. That's why this devil's always in these damn woods, all right, always hunting for animal, because that's what he does, and he does it for a sport. So he look at you niggas like animals, man, all right, and he like to hunt Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians for the sport, for the hell of it, because he's not satisfied with blood. He's not satisfied with having the fatness of the earth, you know, having the blessing of the sword. You see, he wants more than what he can handle at the end of the day. Okay, so, you know, with that being said, all right, and I go back into a couple other scriptures. Let me grab a couple things. This is from Chat GPT. Like I said, I don't really like to use it too much, but lately I've been messing around with it just to see what I could get out of it. All right. And I asked it a question, right? I said, what will, all right, micro C-hips be used for eventually? And it says, that's a great question and a deep one. It says, they are already at the heart, all right, of modern civilization. Okay. So it says that micro C-hips are already at the heart of modern civilization. All right. These modern days that we live in these modern times, okay, these modern times of slavery, all right, because you are still in slavery to this day, okay, modern day slavery. You are subject to payments. You have a social security card, birth certificate, license, all that is basically already marking you as a slave on paper. Okay, but now they're going to put it all into one thing. All right, so we don't have to have no more paper and and files, you know, in drawers. They want it all in one system, a data system. That data system goes back to Sweden, okay, Belgium, Sweden. They have a system, a building called 666. All right, where it's just one big building, one big giant supercomputer. Okay, and what they're doing is just taking all the information that you've been doing through all your phones all these years, you know, since phones basically came out, smartphones, you know, and just been gathering as much information about you as they can. Okay, go look it up. It's going to be hard to find, but if you look in deep and you find it, okay, it'll come up. It says, but over the next few decades, their uses are likely to expand far beyond what we see today. Here's a look at where things are heading, both realistically and speculatively. Okay. It says computer and AI integration, right? Which AI is something booming right now. Okay. With all this social media, you know, all these new AI apps and all this shit. This is, you know, this is the direction you're headed in. Okay. It says smarter, smaller, faster. CHIPs will keep shrinking and increase it in power efficiency. Think processors that can do advanced AI reasoning on your phone or even a wristwatch. Don't we already have that? So you ain't gonna need the wristwatch no more. You're not gonna need the actual phone. All right. So it's showing you that eventually it's gonna get to what? To you. You see? Open your head a little bit. It says neuromorphic CHIPs. These mimic the structure of the human brain. So if they have technology that can mimic the human brain, why wouldn't they put it in you to combine it together to make it stronger than what it is? See, it can only mimic the human brain, but if you add the human brain to it, imagine how much this technology, how strong it can be. You see? It says allowing machines to process information more intuitively, all right, and efficiently, useful for robotics, autonomous systems, and adaptive AI, which goes into what? Transhumanism. Okay, let me go into that real quick. What is transhumanism? Right? Transhumanism, a psychological...
Transhumanism is a philosophy that uses technology to improve human abilities, aiming to overcome aging, disease, and even death. Proponents believe science can lead to longer, healthier lives, using ideas like genetic engineering and artificial intelligence. However, it also raises ethical questions about fairness and identity.
You see? So, it says, what does it say? Stop that, identities, right? It says it proposes that science can improve the human condition, leading to longer, healthier, and more capable lives. Yeah, this devil really wants to be able to conquer death. You see, because he's going to be put to death. He's going to be taken out of the way and never to be heard of. But you see, we Israelites, all right, are going to live immortality, man. We're going to live forever, especially when we get to that kingdom. We can't live forever now because we're not in that kingdom. But see, that's the reward that's granted onto us for receiving Yahawah Bashim Yahweh Shai, you see, for believing in Yahawah Bashim Yahweh Shai, and which eventually you 2/3 that are being cut off and taken out of the way and that are going to pass away on this side, all right, you're going to be brought back to the loins of the 1/3. All right. And you're going to come back and you're going to be in your right state of mind. And eventually you will live forever and ever. You see, and Esau hates that because that was his blessing that was supposed to be given to him. But we know that Esau gave up his blessing. All right. And he lost that blessing. You see, that blessing was originally through prophecy made for Jacob. OK, so it says leading to longer, healthier, and more capable lives, and includes ideas like genetic engineering, artificial intelligence, and neural technology. All right. Neural technology. What's in your brain? Neural transmitters. They go hand in hand. All right. That's what's going to act like your Wi-Fi. While proponents see it as a path to a better future, it also raises significant ethical concerns about social inequality, human identity, and the potential for unintended consequences. Yeah, because the same way that you can hack into a computer, they're going to be able to hack into you. You see, this is why it's not meant for us to have that in our bodies, man. But leave it up to Esau. Okay, he gonna do the most wicked thing possible in front of the eyes of the Lord. All right, which I'm not gonna read all into that because I don't want to lose what I have on this chat. Right. So it says we just went into computing and AI integration, right? Which is smarter, smaller, faster, and neuromorphic CHIPs. All right. Now it's number 2, human enhancement and brain interfaces. Brain computer interfaces, BCIs, micro CHIPs will be implanted or worn. Okay, this is the future. What was the question I asked in the beginning? What will micro CHIPs be used for eventually? Okay, because right now they're just being used for pets, animals, you know, to be able to track them, which Esau always does things. He always tests on animals first before he tests on us. All right, but now that he done tested on all types of animals, now we're the animals to him. All right, and we're going to be tested on. Right, and it's not even going to be a test. They already know that it's going to work on us because they're already doing it out there, man. Scriptures say that he makes a diligent search. Shalom, YAHAWAH'S, Barakatah, brother. He makes a diligent search. So he's been doing this for a while now, man. Why you think these kids, Israelite kids always are coming up missing, other than them being used for, sex slave trades and things like that, okay? And being used for adrenochrome and all that other nonsense, okay? And satanic rituals. They're also being snatched up to be used in these type of moments, okay? So it says brain computer interfaces, all right? Micro CHIPs will be implanted or worn to allow direct communication between the brain and computers. You see, the devil wants to tap into your thoughts. Literally, that's why, as we read 2 Thessalonians 2:4, all right, that he exalted himself above all that is called God, right? And that he's going to sit in the temple of God, which our bodies is the temple, and he's going to sit in there with that technology to be able to track us down through transhumanism, track our every move. You see, want to know how you're breathing. Hey, he really want to know what the spiritual brain, all right, of an Israelite is, because only the Israelite got that pineal, or that pineal gland. You see, that third eye is what they call it out here. You see, that God gene. We're the only ones that carry that God gene because we're the only ones that have an actual God. You see, none of these other nations have gods. This is why the Lord created for them gods of stone, gods of wood, gods of all types of different materials. But see, we have an actual power to pray upon, to fast for, you see, to call upon in the skies, you see. So it says to allow direct communication between the brain and computers. Potential uses, right? Restoring mobility to paralyzed people, treating neurological disorders, enhancing memory or cognitive function, and eventually augmenting human intelligence. Okay, which that shit is all wicked, because here it is, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai will judge you, okay? Judge these people with, being paralyzed because of something they had to do, something they did in their past life. And here comes Esau trying to play God. Oh, well, I got the cure. You paralyzed, brother? I got something for you. You see? And he'll try to it's basically a slap in the face to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. You see? Here it is. You get blown off with an arm, or you ain't got a leg. But here comes Esau. Oh, I could put an arm for you. I could put a leg for you. Instead of allowing you to basically take it the way it comes, because these are things that you have to suffer in this truth, man. All right, in this lifetime period. All right, a lot of these people have been judged for the things that they have done in their past lives, man. But Esau tries to take that judgment away from the Lord, you see. So it says sensory augmentation. Implants might allow new senses like infrared vision or sonar like perception. Okay. And this is, again, he trying to make it like it's something cool to the people. All right. So he trying to basically open parts of your brain that the Lord hasn't allowed us to open on this side. All right. We're in captivity, man. See, in the kingdom, man, we're going to use 100% of our brain. Humans use what? 10% of their brain right now. I think I think the dolphin I read is the one that uses the most part of his brain, and it's like almost 20% of his brain. Okay. So we humans, okay, look at all the things we can make with 10% of our brain. Look at all the things that are created by human hands, all right, using 10% of our brain. Imagine when we make the kingdom, when we're able to use literally it's 100% of your brain. This is why we're going to be able to manipulate elements, have that spiritual power, you know, pyrokinesis, telekinesis, you know, pyrokinesis goes into you messing with flames. Telekinesis going into your brain, which we're basically having low level of those type of things now. Telekinesis, you know, brothers are in the middle of, you know, bringing out a lesson, and here it is. We're all thinking the same type of precepts, man. That's telekinesis already on a low level. All right. But imagine in the time of the kingdom, you see. So it says, yeah, like infrared vision and sonar like perception. Okay. Now let's go to 3. Medicine and health monitoring. You see, because when you go into RFID, right, and you break it down, what are the ingredients that are used in those RFIDs? There's 4 main ingredients. It goes into, one of them is medical, which it goes into pharmaceutical. Another one goes into semiconductors. Okay. Another one goes into, is a word for it, but it goes, I forgot what the word is, but it goes into like antennas. All right. Because this is how they're able to track you. And it was always used in the time of World War I and World War II. All right. And the 4th one, I can't remember what it is. All right. Matter of fact, let me see if I could bring it up. Okay. What are the 4 ingredients in an RFID? All right. The 4 main components, all right, is composed of 3 primary components. Now it says, all right, an integrated circuit, an antenna, and substrate, right? Which the 4 main components in a typical complete RFID label or tag are integrated circuit, micro CHIP. This is the brain of the tag. It stores data, okay, such as a unique identifier, the processes information that processes information, managing communication with the reader, right? Then you got the antenna. The antenna is the conductive material, copper and aluminum, that captures radio frequencies, right? Signals, right? To be able to transmit data back and forth. Then the substrate, all right, goes into, this is the base material, typically a thin, flexible polymer like PET or paper that holds the CHIP and antenna together and provides structural support. Adhesive is the 4th one, all right, which I know that's not it, because I did a video couple years back. As a matter of fact, it was probably like, it was when what's his name? This old ass fart made out of dust. What's his name? Biden. When Biden was in presidency, he signed off on an executive order concerning them RFIDs. All right. And he was speaking about those 4 main ingredients, and semiconductors were one of them. All right. Which I don't know if maybe they're using different words now. Okay. Which they might be. All right. Matter of fact, let me see what this one says right here. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Let me get it from Wikipedia. Right. It says electromagnetic, all right, uses electromagnetic fields to automatically identify track tags. And then it says consists of tiny radio transponder called the tag. All right, that goes into basically that antenna. That goes into the first one that we're saying. It says a radio receiver, which is the antenna, and a transmitter. That transmitter goes into that semiconductor. All right, which I'm not even about to break it down, going through all this through this whole entire thing right here, right? Because if you guys want to look it up, just put radio frequency identification and look it up for yourself. When you go deep into it, you'll see what I mean. All right, with these semiconductors and all that. Oh man, Esau, you mother! He just erased my whole shit. Literally, he just erased my whole thing. Wow. Wow. I knew I should have never got out of that. All right, let me try to put that back in. I knew I should have never did it. Man. And it's not even giving up the same information, yo. That's wild. All right, man, whatever. 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 All right. So far it's got, wow. Yo, he literally just switched everything up on me, yo. I should have screenshotted it. And that one I definitely didn't screenshot. Yo, it has so much crucial information in there. It's not even funny, man. That shit got me mad as hell right now. Let me see what I got here okay, actually did screenshot it. The YAHAWAH'S. All right. Oh yeah, definitely. See, we smarter than you, Esau. All right, so going back. Look, number 1 was computing and AI integration, right? The second one was human enhancement and brain interfaces, right? Look what he did for when he just put it back up. Now it goes, number 1 is medical and health applications. 2 is identification and access. You see, this devil. This is why this devil got to go. This is why Esau, you're about to be destroyed, man, because you know that the true men of the Lord, all right, are exposing you on a daily basis, man, on a daily basis, and it hurts you when these things coming out. And this is why they cut off our channels. This is why they terminated our channels. This is why they do things like this. They'll knock it. They have the power to get in your phone and be able to knock everything out if they want. They can erase everything that I got saved up in here if they want to. See? And this is why, this is a good example of why, as the scriptures tell you, when you go into that word charagma, it goes into karax. And when you go into karax, it goes into grapho. Grapho goes into them being able to store data. You see, being able to store data and store things not to be forgotten. You see, but this is why he gonna take away these phones, man, and make you that phone for reasons like that, because they don't want to be able to forget the things, the thoughts that we have in our mind, because our mind is so brilliant compared to Esau's. Everything in scripture say Jake is the former of all things. Everything is created through us, through the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. All right. So the best thoughts come from Israelites, man. You see, I wouldn't doubt if the creator of those damn things was a wicked ass Israelite at the end of the day. And it wasn't even Esau. Esau just straight stole it from him like he steals everything else. You see? And then took that little brain spark of his and said, let me make something evil with it. You understand? That's how Esau is, man. But the water YAHAWAH'S that I got it saved, right? So going back to where I was, all right, you have brain, where was I? On the third, medical and health monitoring. Okay. It says implantable diagnostics, CHIPs under the skin could continuously monitor blood chemistry, hormone levels, and disease markers. All right. Which this all goes back into what? The convenience. This is going to be one of the ways that they're able to suck you in with these things, man. All right. It's going to sound good to you. You're going to be like, damn, man, I'm going to be able to know if I'm sick, if I'm about to have a heart attack or anything like that. Right. Convenience. This is what this devil is about. It's all about convenience to him. And as a matter of fact, something that I do have for messing with it earlier. Okay. Give me a second. Let me pull it up. Which I took a picture of it. One second, hold on. Convenience was the main thing, right? That they were speaking about. I want to grab it. I gotta find it real quick. I have it in here though, for sure, definitely, because I was reading it. Like I said, I've been playing with this Chat GPT for a while now. Convenience. Where's it at? Bear with me. Okay, it says the key. All right, the key. Hold on. Convenience. I got it. I know I got other parts too. Okay. It says why organizations might push it, right? It says businesses and governments could favor implants and similar digital IDs, right? For convenience, instant access, payments, medical info, security, less fraud or ID theft, data tracking, valuable commercial and behavioral data. You see? So at the end of the day, it's all about convenience. It says if public resistance is low and convenience is high, gradual adoption can make it seem inevitable. You see? So, because another thing I had asked was, it says pressure and incentives can lead to something functionally mandatory, even if it's not legally forced. Because I had asked it, will it be made mandatory? Because the way they were trying to put it was that it will be used for pressure, incentives, and gradualism. So I asked, so through pressure, incentives, and gradualism, it will eventually be made mandatory, correct? And it basically said, that's a very thoughtful and realistic question. And it touches on how large scale social or technological changes usually happen. And then it went into that. Okay. So basically it came out to saying that, so yes, pressure and incentives can lead to something functionally being made mandatory, even if it's legally forced. And that's what's going to eventually happen. It's going to be made mandatory and it's going to be forced upon you. Okay. Through what? Through the pressure, through the incentives. All right. Which the incentives go into, what's the word incentives? I forgot what the word incentives means. Definition of incentives. Incentives goes into a thing that motivates or encourages one to do something, you see, through the convenience of it, basically. That's how they're going to put these things in your face, man. And people going to fall for the okie doke easily, you see, because they're going to think it's something that's going to benefit them at the end of the day. You see? So, good thing I took all these. Look, it even says mandatory rarely happens all at once. In history, very few major shifts, whether surveillance, ID systems, or payment technologies, become instantly mandatory. They usually advance by gradual normalization. And that's what they've been doing to you this whole time, showing you gradualism. You know, they did it with what? They did it with giving you credit cards, you know, giving you these pay apps, these cash apps, these Zells. You see, you're able to put Apple Pay on your phone and pay with your phone. See, that's all gradualism to make you think that it's a normal thing. You see, to the point when they actually make this thing mandatory, you're just gonna be like, oh, all right, man, I've been doing this with my phone. I've been doing this with my credit card. Shit, why not give it to me and I just do it even easier where I don't have to worry about losing my credit card. I don't have to worry about losing my phone. You see? It's all convenience and gradualism in the face, right? Yeah. So let's go back to what we were reading. All right, before Esau done cut us off. All right, back to medicine and health. Number 3, health, medicine and health monitoring. Implantable diagnostics, CHIPs, all right, under the skin could continuously monitor blood chemistry and hormone levels or disease markers. You got drug delivery. Smart implants could release medication precisely when and where it's needed. Okay, which they're gonna be putting some bugged out shit in these C-hips, man. They're gonna put some cyanide in there. All right, if they want to off you, all right, all they got to do is just press the button on that damn that C-hip, right? And then all you need is a little bit to go into your bloodstream. You're done. You're off. You're gone out of society. You see, it says bioidentity C-hips for secure medical data access or personalized treatment. Okay, so bioidentity goes into what? It's going to go into these biometrics. This is why they want to bring these digital IDs, all right, which is, you know, really going into them getting your eyes, getting your whole face structure, facial recognition, okay, which they don't really need that. They could just implement it in your body anyway, and it'll read you anyway. But see, they just want to make things as easy and as quick as possible for you to connect to the system. You see? So it says, let me see, I didn't even realize brother had a couple of precepts. That's right. Oh yeah, brother got a couple of these. All right. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11 for the brother Ira. All right, out there in Vegas is 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us. All right, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Okay, we're not ignorant to his devices. This is why we're not going to deal with these devices, because YAHAWAH'S has given us the intelligence to understand, all right, that these things are going off, all right, as opposed to if you are like the rest of these people in the world, man, they just going to go and take it like it's nothing. You see, this is 2 Corinthians 4:4. It says, in whom the God of this world, all right, has blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of Yahweh, should shine on to them. You see, that's the true image. See, Esau wants you to take his image. His image was what? Wicked as hell, you know, giving up a weak sacrifice. That's why he lost his birthright as Cain. You see, he gave up a wicked sacrifice as Cain, man. That's why he killed his brother Abel. He was jealous, you see. And here it is. He ended up, when he came back as Esau in reincarnation, he ended up doing what? He had a blessing because he was the first to be born. The firstborn is what has the birthright to Yahweh by Shem Yahweh, man. But what did he do? He gave it up. Okay. So here it is. He gave it up for a wicked image. Now he wants you to take on his image of wickedness. You see, when Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahawashi has commanded us to take the image of his son, you see, the image of Yahawashi. Okay, this is why it's a spiritual battle, man. Because here it is, there's a mark of Yahweh and there's a mark of Esau. You see, the mark of Esau leads you to death. You see, because that means you're bound down to him as that you're bound down to him like he is your God. You see, but the mark of Yahweh is the Tawah, which is the mark of exemption from judgment. You see, that's the mark that we're gonna take. We're taking. This is why we go through the sufferings on this side. This is why we're, you know, going through pure hell on this side, because that is gonna lead us to that mark of exemption, of being judged by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahawashi, as opposed to the rest of the world is going to be judged by the Lord, right? In a horrific manner, because they followed after Esau being their God. So their God, the God of this world, which is Esau, has blinded the minds of them which believe not. You see? You got this is Psalms 58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. You see, that's what this devil does. He's all about lies. And this is how he's going to suck a lot of these people in. All right. With lies. And because our people are of the father, the devil, right? John 8:44. And the lust of their father will they do. You see, they're going to follow after those lies because they're under strong delusion. The Lord has put them as reprobate minds, all right, to do those things which are not convenient to them. All right, when you go into Romans, all right, Romans 1, let's just grab that real quick. Romans 1:24. It says, wherefore Yahweh also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, meaning what? Their mind. The heart goes into their la'ab, which is your mind, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. You see, that's what they're going to eventually do. They're going to dishonor their own bodies, man, and give themselves up onto Esau and give themselves up to this technology. You see? And because this is spiritually Sodom and Egypt, they're going to do the same thing that they did in Egypt, all right? When the Egyptians were about to go through, when their land was having a famine, right? What did they say to Joseph? All right, we have nothing to offer but our lands and our bodies. You see, they have that same mentality, all right? It's going to be used here today, all right? They're going to give up themselves, man. They're going to give up their bodies, all right, for the want of bread, for the want of water, okay, for the want of the want of all things, and wanting to go back to reality, going back. I mean, not even reality, going back to normal, as they will say. All right, because the true reality is that Satan got you in a trick bag. All right, and he giving you a device that you're not supposed to trust in, man. All right, which that device is going to be the new God of the new world order. All right, and it's going to be a digital Messiah. All right, so you could be digitally enslaved. Okay. You're no longer in chains and shackles. That's how they had us back in those days, right? Until they finally got us mentally enslaved, you see. And now that they already got us mentally enslaved, they want to give a new way of giving you enslavement, man, by putting this technology into you and being able to tap into your thoughts, right? And then the brother got 2 Thessalonians 2:8, and it says, and then shall the wicked be revealed, which he's being revealed right now, all right? Jeremiah 49:10, all right? That Esau has been made bare. He can no longer hide himself. Why? Because the Lord, Yahweh, has used his men to expose him, all right? As it says right here, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. Who is his mouth? His mouthpiece are the prophets, pertaining to Luke 1:70, okay? As the holy prophets from the beginning have always been here since the beginning, right? Roughly paraphrasing it. It says, whom the Lord Yahweh, whom the Lord Yahweh shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Okay. It says, Isaiah 47:3, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man. All right. Again, he's being exposed by the prophets, man. And when Yahushua come back, he's not gonna meet him as a man. He's gonna meet him with as an angelic force. You see, that's why he's gonna take down this place, and they're not gonna be able to prevail. Okay, so going back, the water for the scriptures, beautiful. All right. So going back to what I was reading, all right. Number 3 was a medicine and health monitoring, right? Implantable diagnostics was 1. Drug delivery was 2. 3 was a identity chip, right? Salakia. So then I said it that way, but oh well. Right. So now we go to 4. 4, it says infrastructure and the Internet of Things, smart cities. Okay. This is why you have places like Jamaica just got smacked, all right, which Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is basically that was the one that put that storm there to destroy it, right? But we also know that Esau, through his technology and his wickedness and weirdness, right, he has what you call HARP stations, man. He is able to manipulate weather, all right? He can manipulate weather and weather modifications. So, all right, the Lord has given him that intelligence to be able to do that. So when the Lord wants to use this devil, all right, as that whooping stick, as he always does, that's what he does. He'll put it in his mind to go and turn on the switch for this weather modification, man. All right, and here it is. You had a whole hurricane that's just went there and annihilated Jamaica right now. Why? Because they're going to turn that into a smart city, man. Especially all those islands around there that people constantly go to, you know, have vacations and all that. They're going to be turned into smart cities, man. Hawaii was another one. You know, they had the those laser beam technologies where they were out there just burning shit. Here it is, they're burning all types of things that they want to be burnt down, but then you'll see like a tree that didn't burn. How the hell is that possible? Because they have certain technologies to do that, laser beams, all right, to be able to destroy. I forgot what it's called too. If I find it, I'll see if I can do a video on that. All right. But, you know, that ain't just the only places, you know, there's all types of places that are being knocked down. All right. Basically are being knocked down to be built back up as smart cities, 15-minute cities, man, where it's all going to be digitally made. You see? And it's only going to be able to be used through what? Through that technology that he wants to put in you. Okay. So it says micro CHIPs will be in almost everything: roads, vehicles, power grids, constantly communicating and optimizing energy, traffic, and logistics. Okay. And that's what it really comes down to, optimizing energy. If you ever seen the movie The Matrix, if you haven't, I advise you to go check it out, man. See what you'll see exactly what I mean with what they were trying to do, as they had everybody being turned into a battery, man. And then that battery will be turned into a liquid for them to be able to have energy for their computers. You see? So it says wearables and homes. Every device from your fridge to your sneakers will likely contain micro CHIPs to interact with your environment and digital ecosystem. Okay. This is why I say we are in the Internet of Things, the 4th Industrial Revolution. It is spiritual that they got it as number 4. All right. Because it is the 4th Industrial Revolution of things, right? It's 5. It says autonomy and robotics, self-driving systems. You seen that with what? Teslas, man. Smart cars, man. Now a Tesla could drive. Pretty much they're trying to get away with anything that is of the old ways where you have to put gas. You see, you know, they're not going to need mechanics anymore, you know, because everything is what is robotic. It's all going back to electric. You know, this is why they want to get rid of actual cars that push gas and want you to take electric cars. That's why the cars now of these, the newer generation cars, I believe it's from, let me see. Electric cars have been coming out since when? If I'm right.
Electric cars have been around since the 1830s, with early models.
We know that. We know that. And that's facts, because anything that goes to show you that this devil's been working on those type of technologies since those times. All right. Because what's new to us is old to them. All right. See, these phones that we have that we think, oh shit, man, they got the new iPhone 19 and you think it's new, man. They had that shit way back. They've been had that technology, man. It's just they didn't bring it out to the people because it was made for the secret societies to know about it. You see, now they bring them out to be able to use it to make money off of. All right. But I think it's from like from 2020 up is where you just started seeing nothing but electric cars, okay, computerized cars being made. So anything under 2020 was still being made with gas and all that extra shit. Do they still make cars of gas today? Yeah, absolutely. But you know, it's more for like racing and things like that. And they're more expensive, you know, but they're trying to make electric cars, all right, digital cars cheaper for everybody to be able to afford these things, man, because that's part of the new system, you know, part of that new image. Okay. Look, it says electric cars were introduced more than 100 years ago. Absolutely. I believe that 100%. Okay. Anyway, going back, you get the point, right? It says smart cities, micro CHIPs will be in almost everything: roads, vehicles, power grids, constantly communicating and optimizing energy, traffic, and logistics, wearables, and homes. Every device from your fridge to your sneakers will likely contain micro CHIPs to interact with your environment and digital ecosystem. Where was I? Oh, that's where I was. Slovakia. Autonomy and robotics. It says self-driving systems. CHIPs will coordinate vast sensor arrays and decision-making systems for autonomous vehicles, drones, and robots. Okay, and you see the robots that they have out here, man. They got dogs out here, man, that are walking around as robots and just taking pictures and using biometrics to identify people, which eventually those will be used for weapons. All right, and all those things are being created for one thing: for the elect. They're being created to fight against the elect, because Esau reads these scriptures and knows that the elect is going to have spiritual power. So they're going to try to make all these different types of technologies to be used against the elect. Okay, which they're not going to prosper, because we are with YAHAWAH'S. Our power doesn't come because we want that power. Our power comes from on high, which is YAHAWAH'S. All right, and Lord willing, we are able to receive those powers. Okay, it says, what did it say? Drones. You see drones everywhere. Drones are being pushed out to the point where when you look in the skies now, you don't even know if it's a plane or a damn drone watching you. You know, the elect knows, because I'll tell you straight up, when you know it's drones is when it's going too slow and it hovers. All right, but you also got to be careful, because some of them be actual chariots. The Lord is showing his technology, his spiritual technology from the heavens, which is the chariots. All right, and you'll know when it's a chariot if you're of this truth. All right, you'll have a certain feeling. You'll get your hairs will stand up and everything. You know, when you think it's a shooting star, yeah, it was probably a chariot. You know, brothers is making videos all the time on chariots that are being seen throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay, but you'll be able to tell the difference between a drone and a chariot. But there are a lot of drones being, you know, put in the skies, man, that are watching us, from these other nations that are watching us, you know, to make certain moves on America, all of that, right? Then it says swarm robotics. Thousands of micro CHIP robots could work together for agriculture, construction, or exploration. You see, this is why America's dying now, man. America's failing. All right. There shall be no work in Egypt, as it says in, let's grab that real quick, in Isaiah 19. Okay. I'll get straight to the point. where it says 15, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. Why? Because of things like this. The systems that are being put out, all right, they're cutting away the jobs. All right, let's grab Ecclesiastes 12:3. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. All right, you got these vanilla ice cream, okay, troops, all right, that are out here taking you know, our people while they're in the middle of working, and taking them in and putting them in these other countries, not even taking them back to their countries. All right, because you have Donald Trump that was basically telling you what, man, people are going to be serving time in other countries that we don't even know about, that you don't even know, that you're not even from. Okay, so a lot of them are being put in these camps, all right, in places they don't even know. You think they're going back to their homes. They're not. They're not going back to their homelands, man. Esau's job is to depop, okay, and you put the rest of the word together. You see? So, you know, going in with number 4, it says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. Grinding going into what? Employment, okay? And you see these places closing up little by little. You see, you just had, I believe it was Amazon just dropped like thousands of robots, and thousands of people got cut from their jobs, okay? As a matter of fact, I think I got one right here on deck in my messages. What is it at? Let me see. Nah, I ain't even gonna look for it. I know it's in here, but I ain't even gonna bother looking for it. But I'll tell you what, I just did pass this. I forgot about this, which I got to do a video on it also. It says Chase Bank to close all 5,000 branches, okay, for 24 hours twice this month. Okay, that's a test run right there, which eventually those 5,000 branches are going to close off anyway, because we ain't going to need no more banks, right? Then you got another one that says right here in New Jersey, this is where I'm from. It says major bank closing over 50 branches, including locations in New Jersey and PA. Okay, so branches are closing, man. Why? Because they're getting they're done with the cash, man. It's about to be a cashless society. All right. So going back, because I made the point on Ecclesiastes 12:3 and 4. All right, the grinding shall be low, the grinding shall cease. All right, all these places being closed up, as the scriptures tell you in 2nd Ezra also. All right, that in the 6th chapter, all right, that the sown places shall appear unsown suddenly, right? Okay, they shall suddenly be unsown, right? So continuing on, it says, and that was pretty much the point of swarm robotics. Okay. Now this is 6. It says security, identity, and finance. Digital ID implants. Okay, not digital IDs, but implants. Those are ones that get implanted into your skin. Some countries and companies already test subdermal CHIPs for identity verification, payments, and access control. And that's very true, because you go to, I had looked it up and it came up. Let me see. I think they were saying in Wisconsin. Let me look it up real quick. Wisconsin. Yeah, it says it says notable examples. It says 3 Square Market, River Falls, Wisconsin, USA. It says this company offered employees the option of and this was from ChatGPT. It says this company offered employees the option of getting an RFID micro C-hip implant, grain of rice size, between thumb and forefinger to replace ID cards. Okay, again, gradualism. Enable door access, payment in the cafeteria, computer login. See, showing you that this shit is already here in America, man. We've been telling you this too, that it's already here. It just hasn't been made mandatory. All right. They're waiting to collapse everything in society to make it mandatory, because that's when the problem, reaction, solution comes to play. Order, act, chaos. All right. They want you to break out into, all hell breaking loose so people could go crazy. All right. And then they're going to have this solution for you. Okay. And they're going to make it mandatory. They're going to force it upon you, even though it's not going to be legal to force it upon you. They are legally going to force it upon you in their way. Okay. It says at one point, 50 out of 80 employees volunteered. Look at that. You have people volunteering on their own, man, without even forcing them. Imagine how much more when they take away these benefits from these people, man, from you Israelites that depend on the system the most. You see? Because he could care less about these other Edomites. He could care less about these other nations. He trying to get true, okay, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? It says the company partnered with the Swedish firm YAHAWAH'S International for the implants. Absolutely, because Sweden, they out there having C-hip parties, man. Them niggas they got all types of them in their body. Left, right, left butt cheek, right butt cheek. They pull it out of their tongue. They pull one out the side of their ear, because these are demons anyway out there, man. The bunch of Edomites out there, So continuing on, it says Epicenter, Stockholm, Sweden, Tech Hub. This innovation hub offered its members and employees voluntary, all right, RFID, NFC, hand implants. All right, no need to go no more into that. All right. Then you got one that's called Vera C-Hip Corporation. Okay, pitched human implantable RFID solutions to the U.S. military for ID and medical use. Yeah, anybody that's in the military automatically got them in them. That's one of the first things they tell you to put in your body when you join the military. There has been brothers that are prophets now, that were in the military, and hey, YAHAWAH kept it away from them. All right. But in this time, in this society right now that we're living in, if you're in the military, it's automatically in your body, because they're going to tell you they need to track you, GPS you. If you get into trouble, they need to pinpoint where your location is at. Okay. And in order for you to have access to their shit, all right, which is all digitalized, all right, you're going to have that in your body, man. These people are underground tunnels, underground smart cities, you see, that we don't know about. And that's why they pay them that much money to keep their mouth shut. All right. But those underground cities are available and ready to go. Okay. And right now it's only used for the elites. Okay. And a lot of them are going to hide in the time of all hell breaking loose down up here, when the missiles come flying, which they know that's going to happen. They're going to be underneath these, in their bunkers in these places. All right. But the elect, all right, the 144,000, the fishers, the ones that are preaching the word, are going to be turned into hunters. And then we're going to just go yank them right out of them places, man. They ain't going to be able to hide too long. All right. So let's go back to finish this up. We had security, identity, and finance. All right. Digital ID implants. Okay. We already read that part. Now, this is the other part. It says cryptographic C-hips. These could securely manage digital assets and credentials at the hardware level, reducing cyber risks. Okay. And what they've been telling you out here, man, this place is getting cyber attacked every 2 seconds. every damn day you hear about somebody getting cyber attacked. Okay. This is why we know that they're going to cut the lights off in this place, man. Okay. The same way that Egypt went through 3 days of pure darkness. All right. The Lord's gonna make it spiritually over here, where you know He gonna crash the system, and we're gonna be cyber attacked, and it's gonna be completely dark out here, man. And this is where you're gonna have a lot of purging going on. You know, a lot of these devils are gonna be able to make extra moves. Okay. Now you got 7, space and extreme environments, radiation, hardening, CHIPs. The fact that they got all these different type of CHIPs, man, is wild. You know, they got a CHIP for every type of, you know, what, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Damn, what's that word I'm looking for? Aspect. Okay, they got a different CHIP for every aspect of life. Okay. So it says radiation hardening, hardened CHIPs for long-term missions on Mars or deep space, which that's a lie. Ain't none of these people gonna touch no Mars. Ain't nobody gonna touch no other planet. Okay, they ain't even touched the moon yet. All right, so don't let these devils fool you, man. This goes with that precept that the brother put. All right, the wicked are estranged from the womb, speaking lies, man. Okay, none of them have touched any of those things, because that's made for the elect. That's made for YAHAWAH'S people, man. All right, we're going to be able to live on different planets. All right, we're going to be able to be fruitful, multiply, and live forever. So if we're going to live forever, we're going to need all these different planets that the Lord has created for us, man. But see, this devil only has technology such as what? Satellite dishes to be able to go and see that there are other planets. You see, Esau dream of touching these things, man, but he can't. All right, and the Lord won't allow him. As the scriptures say, all right, he has his bounds that he cannot pass. Let's grab that real quick. This is Job 14:5. All right, it says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. You see, he cannot pass a certain limit. The farthest he could get is with his satellite technology, because the scriptures tell you in Obadiah that he is among the stars, right? That's as far as he could get. His sins have reached onto the heavens. All right. It tells you right here in 4 in Obadiah, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh. You see? So at the end of the day, you got 3 different heavens. You got heaven, which this is the first heaven, earth, where we living on. Then you got the second heaven, which is the firmament, all right, which what they will consider space, all right. And then you have the third heaven, which is the spirit world, all right. He is only able to go to what? To where the amongst the stars are, all right, space, the firmament. That's where he can just sit at. He can't go no farther than that. So don't let this devil fool you with thinking that you can touch Mars and all that, man. All right, it says self-repairing CHIPs to handle harsh environments or long duration operations autonomously. Okay, I'm assuming, you know, going into, you know, radiation. Well, yeah, if they're doing radiation hardening CHIPs, yeah, basically going into that. What will be more harsh than radiation? You getting smacked with these damn nuclear, you know, these nuclear missiles. Okay. Now we have 8 long-term and speculative uses. Okay. It says embedded intelligence in living organisms. CHIPs could one day merge with biological tissue. See, this is already showing you that what he really wants to do deep down, man. It says CHIPs could one day merge with biological tissue, blurring the line between digital and organic life. A second one is mind uploading foundations. If consciousness ever becomes digitally immutable, advanced micro CHIPs or their successors would be the substrate. Okay. And basically that reminds me of what? Mind uploading foundations, going into that movie, The Matrix, man. Neo was sitting in a chair, and what they do, they put that into his mind, and they were able to program him to be able to what? Fight, do whatever he wanted. You see, you had Trinity at the one point, okay? Give me 1 second. Salaka was just letting my wife know that I'm teaching and she got to come in quietly. All right. So, you seen that with Neo. All right. And you seen that with Trinity. She didn't know how to fly a plane, but what did she do? They programmed her to be able, they uploaded it into her mind. All right. And next thing you know, she's flying the plane. So that's the same thing Esau want to be doing. He want to hack into you and be able to put whatever he wants in his in your thoughts. You see? And he wants to be able to take your thoughts, your memories, and if you die, they can be able to take your memories, your thoughts, and then put them onto a USB, as you would say in today's society, right? You could download stuff into a USB and you keep it in the USB forever. You see? They want to be able to do that. And then if they want to put it into a robot, they could put it into a robot. Right? So it says, then it asked me, then it stopped right there. And then it asked me, would you like me to focus on human applications like implants and enhancement, or technological societal uses like AI, cities, and infrastructure? I can expand on either track or more in depth. And I said, yes. Right. And then it said, which one do you want me to do? I said, both. Compare the two. So it says, comparison. It says micro C-hips in humans versus micro C-hips in society, right? It says category, propose and function, human applications, medical monitoring, neuroprosthetics, cognitive enhancement, identity verification, right? But on the other side, it will say technological and societal applications, computing power, automation, AI integration, communication networks. All right, comparison and interaction. It says human C-hips focus on personal optimization, societal C-hips focus on system optimization. They eventually merge together. Example, humans as nodes and digital networks. You see, this is them showing that the devil wants to have what? Transhumanism, and merge you together with his technology, man. All right. Now you go back to the next one. It says category integration depth. All right. Human applications directly interfaces with biology implanted in the body or brain. Here we go. You see? How the hell can you have these devils out here, these 2/3 still thinking that it's a spiritual MARK, that it's Christianity, it's white women, all right? It's an embargo. You see all these different philosophies when clearly this devil's telling you in your face what he wants to do with a micro C-hip, man. He wants to implant it into your body or your brain, okay? Then it said, on the other side, technological application, right? It says embedded in machines, infrastructure, and environments. Yeah, because they go hand in hand. If it's in your body, then you're able to have access to these machines, you see? Then it says the comparison and the interaction between the two, humans and environment integration. It says symbiotic computing. Humans and machines exchange data seamlessly. You see? That's what it really comes down to. That's what that word grapho goes into. Okay? When you go into, let me just bring it out for edification, for just in case anybody knew. All right? This is Revelations 13 and 16. Okay? That word M-A-R-K goes into what? Charagma. All right? We've said this a million times, goes into charagma, which is a stamp and imprinted M-A-R-K, all right, as a badge of servitude and a follower of the anti-Hamashiach, against YAHAWAH'S, man. This society is against YAHAWAH'S, right? Then it goes into karax, which means through a pail or a stake, all right, which we already know that they're going to use a certain needle, all right, and it looks like in the shape of a cross and everything, to implant it into your body. Okay. As a matter of fact, I have a picture for that. All right. Where is it at? I thought I had a picture for it. That's Esau erasing shit. For sure. Because all of a sudden it's not in my, and I just took the picture like 2 days ago, so it should be right at the top of my screenshots. But I don't see it. All right, which is cool. Make sure I'm not passing. Yeah, nah, he definitely took that out of my pictures. Which that he has the power to do that. Because in my old phone, he was doing that to my old phone. Things that I had that were crucial, he was erasing them right out of my phone. And I couldn't even find these things. All right, but it's all right. Continuing on, right? So it says, you're gonna exchange data unseemly, right? Now you go to technology type. Okay, it says bio CHIPs, neural interfaces, nanotech sensors. All right, this is one of the things that they were trying to put into your body. All right, when it came to the yo jabba jabba, not only were they putting H to the I to the V, all right, in your body, okay, but they were also, okay, giving you this nanotech, all right, ology in your body at the same time. All right. And I am not no doctor. All right. I am not giving medical information. All right. This is just for entertainment purposes only. Okay. And again, they were putting that nano tech into your body, man, because that all goes hand in hand with the system. You see. So it says nanotech sensors, RFID, NFC implants, right? And that goes into on the technological applications, it says AI accelerators, quantum processors. All right, that's what that nanotech goes into, quantum processors, basically. Because when you have all that technology in your body, those nanobots and all that, when the quantum technology is used, it detects you even more. That's why they had, not so long ago, they had those black lights were being put into the street lights. All right, and people will glow because you have all that technology in your body. You see, it says quantum processors, edge computing, Internet of Things sensors, right? Comparison between the two, both are evolving towards miniaturization and energy efficiency. Human CHIPs must also be biocompatible. Going into what? Biometrics. Okay. Now, the next one was power source. It says biothermal energy, wireless induction, micro batteries. Okay. It goes into, on the other side, it says electric grids, solar energy, edge power systems. The comparison between the two, human CHIPs need low power, self-sustaining energy sources, a major technical challenge. Yeah, and I did a video on that about a week ago. All right, how our body already pushes hertz out of our body. All right, just like a Wi-Fi gives gigahertz out, our bodies have hertz in our body, and it only produces 100 hertz in the human body. So this is why they were trying to put those nano things in your body. All right. Also that graph, that GO. All right. That graph, ENE. Put that together with the OX IDE. Okay. That all goes into your body to make more energy in your body to be able to connect you to the system more when they put that RFID in your body. Okay. Now, the last part was, I think that was the last part. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. So then it went into future. It said it had a missile right there. It has a future stage. It says brain. It says future stage 2030 to 2050. So now they're giving you a timeline of what they were going to do from 2030 to 2050, and really it started at 2025. I think I screenshotted that. All right, because it said from 2025. It was showing you already, not 2023. Matter of fact, let me make sure. Oh yeah, I screenshotted it. I missed that part. It was going from 2025. Okay, but it's all right. It says, hold on. I'm almost done too. This is the last pieces of it. All right. It says future stage 2023. 2030 to 2050. It says brain computer interfaces common in medicine. Elective implants for enhancement emerge. Okay. And then on the bottom it says ultimate. I think I missed that screenshot. It says human conditioning of something. All right. But going into that future stage, okay, which was basically the timeline. I don't think I took a picture of that good enough. It goes into, let me see. Oh, it says ultimate convergence, human cognition augmented by AI via direct chip interface. Give me 1 second. It's got hot in here. All right. It says in summary, human-focused CHIPs make individuals more connected, healthy, and potentially enhanced. You see, by what? Through transhumanism. It says societal CHIPs make the world's systems more efficient, automated, and adaptive. All right, being what? Adaptive to the humans. Okay. So basically, from the future stage, it started going into what it kind of meant. All right, and it says electric grid, solar energy, edge powered systems. It's pretty much actually re-saying what we were reading when we were breaking it down. Some new ones is tracks environmental, social, and behavior data. Privacy issues multiply when personal and societal data merge. Governance and consent and consent will be key. You see that? It says tracks environmental, social, and behavioral data, and that's what they want to do. They want to be able to. They were just saying something about that. That they want to be able to monitor your behavior. This is why they're gonna have that digital footprint going into what they doing out there in China with social credit score. You see, you got a credit score with your credit card, but now they want to give you a social credit score as opposed to meaning, all right, this person does this wrong and that wrong, so he's not able to take part, be a partaker in this part of society. You see, okay. You have, let's say they give you, it's like communism, but in a digital way. All right, you start off with 200 points. Okay, you can only use those 200 points in a month for food and this and that. Once your 200 points are done, that's it. You're done. You see, until it resets basically. You see, if with them 200 points, you're only allowed 10 points to use it for bread. If you try to go over and buy 20 points of bread, it's not going to allow you. You see. So they have control of you, over you, and and anybody that has bad behavior, all right, they'll be able to what? Take away points, all right. Let's just say for good behavior, they'll be able to add points, all right. This is what they want to come, right? It says Privacy issues multiply when personal and societal data merge. Governance and consent will be key. Governance, yeah, they're going to be able to govern your ways of life, basically. And consent will be key. You have to consent to whatever they have available for you or whatever they say, okay? Or they just turn you off. It says automation, logistics, energy optimization, AI services. Human CHIPs drive individual value creation. Societal CHIPs drive systematic efficiency. Surveillance, data, and ownership, algorithmic control. Both raise serious ethical debates, one about the body and mind and the other about society and power. And then it says fully interconnected Internet of Things infrastructure, AI managed logistics and governance. Human CHIPs evolve from therapeutic to enhancement, and societal CHIPs evolve from smart tools to autonomous systems. Salakia. All right. And that's pretty much it on that whole thing. All right. Oh, there's one more. Societal systems guided by network human machine intelligence. Likely outcome, a neural cloud. All right. Just like they have with the phones, they have a cloud. All right. They have a neural cloud, basically. Humans and AI sharing a data ecosystem, blurring personal and collective intelligence. You see? And that's what these devils want, man. It says, in summary, human-focused CHIPs make individuals more connected, healthier, and potentially enhanced. I already read that. Societal CHIPs make the world system more efficient, automated, and adaptive. Together, they point toward a cyber-biological symbiosis where the boundary between human and infrastructure becomes fluid. You see? Would you like to blah, blah, blah? Oh, there goes that timeline, which I'm going to bring that out on another time. All right? Let me see. Actually, there's only one more. All right, so yeah, I could do that. I could bring it out. I thought there was more to that. All right, it said, then it asked me, would you like me to extend this into a timeline, right? From 2025 to 2000 to 2100. This devils think we're going to reach 2100, man. All right. It says, show them when each stage of this integration is likely to happen. And I said, yes. And it says, timeline, the evolution of micro CHIP integration, 2025 to 2100, right? It says human, okay? 2025 to 2035, the smart integration decade, human brain. It says medical implants for monitoring heart glucose. We already know that. Medical, right? Brain computer interfaces. We already know about that, right? Subdermal in identity CHIPs used in limited workplaces or national ID pilots. Okay, meaning it's going to be put into your body. Societal, it says AI CHIPs dominate data centers and edge devices, everything from cars to traffic lights, which we already knew about that. Smart cities and convergence, and that was it. But what I really screenshotted was for that they have a timeline from 2025 to 2100, showing you that this devil thinks that their, as the scriptures say, their inward thought, right? Let's grab that real quick, and I'll end it off with that. All right, their inward thought. This is Job. This is Job 49. Psalms 49. Salakia. Psalms 49 and 11. It says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. All right. But the point is that I wanted was, because they do that to this day. They call their lands by their own names. This is how we got America. Comes from Amerigo Vespucci. That's how you got Africa. It comes from Leonidas Africanus. You see? So these devils will use their names to name these lands. Okay, but the point was that their inward thought, okay, is that their houses shall continue forever. Okay, and they're not, because Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai said what in Job, all right, in the sufficient in his sufficiency, all right, and the pride of his, let me just grab it real quick. This is Job 20, and in the fullness of his sufficiency, all right, 22, Job 20 and 22, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. You see? So this devil, all right, is not going to be able to conquer in his agenda, all right? As the scriptures tell you in Job 5 and 14, okay? It says what? 13, 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. See? So he's going to take them in his own craftiness at the end of the day, man. All right? And I'll end it with this one. Just popped up in my head. 64 and Psalm 64 and 5. It says, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily, saying, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. But Yahweh shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. You see? And that's what's going to eventually happen, man. When this devil thinks he has the world in the palm of his hand, all right, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah is going to lift up that standard against them, all right? And it's going to return upon his own pate, all right? It's going to return upon his own head, okay, as the scriptures say. This is Psalm 7 and 16. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealings shall come upon his own paint. You see? So, hey, Salaki was a little long, but, you know, I wanted to get that out before, you know, somehow he erases magically, deliciously out of my damn phone on some Lucky Charm shit, you know, because this devil just be doing too much with these phones nowadays, man. So, hey, with that being said, Lord willing, you were edified. So with that, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Koholo and La Yahawah, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Bukatodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who do well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad, the Akim and the Aquat that was listening in. Yahweh Barakatah, Lord willing, that the lesson is edifying. To the next one, keep fighting the good fight of faith, doing as good soldiers of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, Shalom, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Barakatah.